Hello and welcome to Access Paranormal. My name's Jamie Williams and here is my co-host James.
Hello Jamie, and it's great to be here today. It's very hot, isn't it, at the moment?
It certainly is too hot for me, to be honest with you.
Too hot for me as well. I noticed we're doing the really typical thing that I think a lot of British people do, where it's really, really warm weather, and rather than us celebrating the fact that we've got glorious sunshine, we're all complaining that it's too warm, it's too hot, and then next week if it starts raining again, we'll all be miserable, won't we?
I know, but we're used to being in the dark and in the cold, so to us this is like strange.
It's really, isn't it? Yeah, it's not. I mean, although this is a ghost and paranormal show, the weather outside is at the moment is absolutely glorious, isn't it? So it's not really like your kind of stereotypical stormy winter's night, is it? You know.
I am stuck in a room because we're not in a studio whatsoever because of COVID.
Indeed, yes, indeed. So we've got this is a brand new show, Jamie, isn't it? On Access Northwest Radio. So tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening.
Well, we're going to have loads happening. Today's going to be a very special show because obviously it's our very first one.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 hours of something that nobody's going to expect until later on.
Indeed.
But we've also got special guests are going to be coming on.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing secret things that we can't really talk about at the moment, and you know why.
That's very mysterious, that, isn't it, really?
Well, why not start like that? Because you know, we've been talking about it off air, and
yeah,
there's going to be lots and lots coming up.
Yeah,
with interviews with people, not just from the UK. We're going to be going worldwide, talking to people.
Yeah. So, Jamie, obviously, we've known each other for a number of years. Probably about 15 years, is it now?
Oh God, it must be, James, because we met at the Citadel, didn't we, down in St Helens when we done an unexpected paranormal investigation?
Indeed, yeah. We was working on a play at the time. I think that was in 2007, and both of us had been interested in kind of, everything that's unexplained and paranormal, if you like, for quite a number of years before then. And we were working on the play, and we decided one evening that we were just going to do a little kind of investigation. The Citadel, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, is an old Victorian theatre. It was built in 1861, and it was one of the town's theatre royals for many years, and then it became a Salvation Army citadel in the late 1880s, and then it was opened as an arts centre for about 30 years, and sadly obviously closed, 2019. So we decided we were going to stay behind one night, didn't we? And we did some kind of investigate. We're going to talk a lot more about how we do paranormal investigations, but just for the listeners, Jamie, explain a little bit about some of the stuff that happened.
What we did that night is we'd actually been there for the play because you were doing the sound part of it, and I was doing the photography part of it and the sound effects on the night. And we just decided at the end of the show that we'd do an off-the-cuff paranormal investigation because it'd never been done at the Citadel. So there was a few of us there. There was my son, if you remember, Mark. He stayed with us, and we decided to start on the stage, and we worked it back into the dance area.
Yeah.
And we actually got a really strange one where I said she was crying and you said she was singing, but I'm going more towards what you said.
Indeed,
do you remember the girl?
Because we was and this was it was after a rehearsal. This wasn't it? If you remember, and I think it was a Monday or a Tuesday night. And the dance studio we were in is on the very top floor of the building. It's a very old room. It's got huge beamed ceiling and everything like that. And when we was in there, it was deathly quiet. And we could hear what sounded like, I thought it sounded like operatic singing coming from down the stairs in the auditorium. And I know you said it was like crying, but if you remember when we all heard it, and then when we opened the door to go down and the stairs to check it stopped dead, didn't it?
Yeah, it was
completely
so weird because if you remember rightly, we all just went straight to the stage.
We did.
When we were in a bit less experience then, and we were like so excited to get down there, and
and then there was nothing there,
different,
Yeah.
But so that's just one of our experiences, James. And what got you into the paranormal?
Well, you know what? I mean, I think the world of the paranormal for me has always been incredibly interesting, and I think it's the excitement of it actually, because I'm quite a skeptical person, and there's many things when I've been out on doing paranormal investigations that I can explain. Particularly, if you I think about a lot of old buildings, they move, they make noises, the temperature changes, floors creak, doors bang, there's drafts, there's all sorts of things like that. But I think what the exciting thing is when there's something that happens that you really are at a loss to explain what caused it. And I know we've got a little surprise for the listeners later in the show where we was for an investigation that we was doing, which we've recorded to play back to you guys, where something very strange happened. But that's what it is for me. I think it's the unknown. And I know when I was little, like many people, I used to love listening to my granddad telling me ghost stories and spooky tales, and I used to read a lot of books about ghost stories and stuff like that. And I think that it's just very, very exciting and really interesting as well. What about you?
Well, mine started when I was and I think it's the old cliche, isn't it? When you're a kid, you experience something that you cannot explain.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, it just happens.
Yeah.
You forget about it for a while, and then something triggers it on again. And I think mine was more. I don't know whether you remember. In 1992, there was a TV program. It was on Halloween.
Oh, was it?
And it was called Ghost Watch.
Yes, I do. And it was a setup, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Ghost
it was
Watch,
definitely a setup. It was Michael Parkinson.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Sarah Greenwood and the lad from Liverpool.
Was that with a ghost called? Was it called Pipes?
That's right.
It was called Pipes, wasn't it? It was in the house.
And that really got me into it. Then I was looking at it and I thought, this is fantastic. Okay, at the time it looked real. I remember watching it down when I was living down south, and I thought that was fantastic. The way they'd done it. Yeah, okay, it was entertainment, but they made it look so real, and it triggered me again going into the paranormal.
Yeah,
I thought, you know what, I'm interested again now.
Absolutely.
I'm a bit older, I'm a bit more wise and everything else. And I started looking into it, reading into it and that. But the work I was doing now, I couldn't really get into it as much as I could. All I could do was read it and things. There wasn't a TV programme. And then, we had in 2002, we had Most Haunted turn up on the TV. And you've got to say, I've got a lot of respect for them. That was fantastic the way they started.
It was a fantastic, it's a fantastic programme. And I think, my opinion is that what that did is, it really kind of just exploded interest back into it as well, because I remember when I used to watch it and it was so I was so excited for it, and it wasn't it was about the history and everything such as that, and obviously you had the late Derek Acora on there to begin with, and then lots of other mediums and other people who appeared in it as well, and I think it was just so exciting for me, and it still is my favourite paranormal TV program. It always will be, And
I know that that there are people out there who are going to be skeptical, whatever the word is. I forgot the word now.
Skeptical.
Skeptical. That's the word. Come on. But give them the due. I think that was where the
resurgence of interest.
The way it started, and you've got all these paranormal groups out now.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, even before the 1992 and that, you had the Victorians doing it. So there must be something out there, and this is what it is. It's the unexplained, the unexpected, and I think everybody, and I think if you talk to people and you say, "Oh yeah, I do paranormal investigations," there's always someone saying, I had an experience.
Yeah, well, exactly.
And that's the interest in it is there's so many people out there. And before all these TV programs and things like that, you were frightened to say that you were into the ghosts because you were a strange person.
Yeah.
And another person who was very good at it was Tom Slemon.
Absolutely. Yeah, but of course,
he brought it to the forefront up in Liverpool.
Yeah, of course he did.
And he was very, very good.
Yeah.
He how many stories has he got?
Well, and the thing is as well is, I've got quite a number of his books. In fact, I've just got the most recent one, which has come out, which I think is 32 now.
Wow.
And that's and there's some amazing different stories in there. Yeah. But again, what one of the things I love about it is exploring the history, and what I love about Tom's books in particular is that there's a lot of history in them about it's not just this is the ghost story. There's a lot of information about the history of where they happened, the people who are involved, and the really great books. As I say, I think I got the first one when I was I must have only been about 12 or something like that.
There's a lot of other books out there. And
of course,
I'm a great fan of a woman called Bunty Austin.
Oh right,
so she's in Anglesey,
right?
And I've read her books. The Ghost of Anglesey. Absolutely fantastic, and there's loads of books out there. There's the Haunted this and Haunted that.
Yeah,
and we will be in the show sometime or another. Not today, not tonight, but also in the future we will be talking about some of these books what are out, and I'm bringing it to the forefront for people out there. And also, videos. We're going to be looking at YouTube and things on YouTube, and also bringing the listeners into the show. We want to hear from them.
Absolutely.
We want to hear from paranormal groups. We want to hear from mediums. Everything to do with the paranormal and the unexplained, the UFOs. It's all out there.
Well,
mysteries.
The thing is, there's just such the paranormal. I think when you hear that word, you almost think of
ghosts.
And actually, paranormal is basically the something that is unexplained in my mind. So it covers so many different things, you know. I mean, you could talk about UFOs, or you could talk about, ESP, where people think they can, sense things before they happen, and mediumship and everything such as that. I think it's such a broad thing, and obviously I know what we want to do is to really look at these different things. And also, I'm sure you agree with me here. I mean, I would say that if you had to put yourself on a scale of skepticism. What would you say you are between 1 and 10? Where would you say you sit?
Jimmy, you put me on the spot there, and I'm just trying to think about that now. I think of everything logically, because people say like the ghosting hours, 3 a.m. in the 3 a.m. there.
Yeah.
I just think that's when the buildings have settled, because as you know, the building's alive, and of an evening it's settling, the woods
of course it does.
The buildings settling down to.
Yeah.
Like us, we're settling down at night. That's what the building does. And I think logically, well, that could have been the pipes. It could have been the wood. But if you know a building like we know Mill Street, you know every nook and every cranny and every cranny and every sound in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you see something unusual, you know yourself. Well, that's not normal. But let's look at it logically first, because you've got the weather.
Yeah.
You've got the temperatures, so we do try and look at things logically. So I'm on the fence on something, but I do believe 100% that there is something paranormal.
Well, I think I have to agree with you. I mean, I think, there's certainly a lot of friends of mine who say, it's a load of rubbish and there's no such thing as ghosts and stuff such as that. And I think that, I think it's Richard Felix that said that, is it 9 out of 10 ghost sightings can be explained, but it's the other one you've got to worry about. So something such as, that might not be the exact quote, but it's something very, very similar to it. But I think I agree. I mean, I find that I think that a lot of stuff is explainable, and I think particularly, when you see images that people take and say, well, I've got this capture and stuff such as that, I always think to myself, well, when I look at them, that digital cameras, particularly in dark conditions, can make things look a little bit different. They can distort things. And I think once you're told that something looks like something, it's very difficult to see that it doesn't look like that.
Well, it's the curtain effect, isn't it? If you stare at a curtain long enough, with flowers on it, you see faces.
You see faces. It's called pareidolia, I think, isn't it? So I think that a lot of it can really be explained. And I know certainly, there's a lot of things where I've thought that's been out somewhere or whatever and thought, well, that's a bit strange, but then realised it's just a perfectly natural thing. But there has been a few occasions which I can honestly say I can't explain it. And that's not me saying that it's the spirits of the dead or anything like that, but it's me saying I'm not sure what caused it,
But at the when you're there and you're doing a paranormal investigation, I've done hundreds of them, absolutely hundreds of them, and at the time, you're in with the crowd. You're listening to the sounds, and you can understand where people go, "Oh my God, did you hear that? Did you see this? Did you?" That?
Yeah.
But it's when you go home afterwards and you wind down, you get up the next day, and you start thinking about it and thinking, I know what that was, because at the time you're not thinking about it. You're going with the flow, like I said before.
Yeah. And
then you start thinking logically, and then you contact your friends and say, "Oh, I know what it was now. It wasn't this."
Exactly.
And, as you know, we've both got a group called Ghost Quest, and we do a lot of that stuff. And we do think logically. We have our little chat, and we go, "Oh, I know what it was." Blah blah blah, and we tell each other.
Well, I think a good example for the listeners is that recently we went out. It was kind of a last minute thing, really. We went out to a location. And we were doing a recording just an audio recording for something that we call EVP. Now, EVP stands for electronic voice phenomena, and the theory is that when you record, that a spirit can use the electronic device to record its voice. So some people, if you've watched television programs investigating the paranormal, you'll have no doubt seen EVP recordings and things such as that, and it's quite an interesting thing. It actually goes back many years. It goes back well before mobile phones and little digital recorders. It used to be used on reel-to-reel reel-to-reel tape recorders, didn't it, back in the day? We recorded 2 EVPs. Now we are going to play these at some point on one of the shows when we're going to specifically look at the kind of phenomena of EVPs. But one of them we can't explain, and the other one we could. Now, the one that we could explain was, we only realised afterwards that, was it someone's shoe moving on the grass or something such as that?
That's right, yeah. And it happened the other night when we thought we heard a voice in the background. I said, oh, no, that's Jimmy. I can tell it's Jimmy. You know. It's just a matter of listening back to them. Yeah. But that is my favourite part about the paranormal, is EVP. I do like the EVP part. And you know, personally, I'm not into all these electronical stuff. I think
no, of course,
it becomes too much. In my opinion, everybody else likes them. I wouldn't, disrespect that, because we all do it in different ways.
Yeah.
But EVP, if you catch your voice on that, and you were the only one there, or the only two people there, and you know that person, and you get that voice, it's fantastic to listen back to. We do have them, but what we will do, James, is when we put the EVP on the radio, we won't be telling anybody what it says.
Yeah.
What we would like is the listener to come back and tell us what it says. Yeah. It would be interesting.
And the listeners can get in touch, can't they, if they want to, with us? If people want to send in their ghost stories or tales of the unexplained, it could be anything. It could be a UFO sighting, it could be that you saw a grey lady, in your living room or something such as that, or anything. Or even if you want to recommend to us somewhere that is haunted and you think we should check it out. What's the information for people getting in touch, Jamie?
Yeah, definitely. Well, at the moment, they can contact us on our email address, which is info.accessparanormal@gmail.com.
So again, info.accessparanormal@gmail.com.
That's right. And if you want to, just give us a bit of information, and we can get back to you.
Yeah.
And you can tell us your story. Either we can we can record it, or if you want to put it in writing, one of us will read it out on the radio for you.
Indeed. So we did mention just before that we decided to record a little treat for everyone. We decided, as Jamie said, our group Ghost Quest is based at Mill Street Barracks in St Helens. And about 2 weeks ago, just a few of us, 3 of us, decided to go down there, do a socially distanced investigation and record it to you guys. We're going to be playing a few parts of it for you tonight. And here we go with the first part of our little mini investigation into Mill Street Barracks. Enjoy.
Well, here we are, James, outside Mill Street Barracks in St Helens. Massive building, very long.
Huge, isn't it? Yeah. So looking at it, Jamie, for people who haven't seen it before, when you actually look at it, it was built in 1861, wasn't it, as the volunteer drill hall? Yeah. And it's a fantastic red brick and sandstone building. It's got half of it is the actual hall itself, and then when you look to the left, what you can see is that there's what was a house originally, I think. Is that, am I correct in saying that? Yeah. So there was a house there, and then there's another part which is joined on. Obviously now it's used by the Sea Cadets. Yeah. So when we look at it now, it looks, I mean, it's dusk, isn't it?
It is.
And it looks quite atmospheric, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, wait till you get on the inside, though. You've been in many times with me, and it looks quite nice on the outside. It's when you get inside.
No, absolutely, yeah.
As we were talking before we actually started the show, on the left-hand side, as you're standing right opposite it, on the left-hand side, as you can see, there's a black door. Yeah. That was the part what the people lived in.
Right.
And then the extension was this side here. Yeah. So if you think about it, people were living in here, and the doors picked up, which was the main entrance for them. Yeah. And that was their living room. And as you can see, there's a few windows at the top. They're actually the bedrooms,
and that's where the bedrooms would have been. Yeah. So we'll be going into that. Looking at it now, when you see on the front, there's a very ornate doorway which has got it's made out of sandstone. It's been painted. Now, I was told that particular entrance, when the army used it, was where they would take in guns and everything such as that through the main entrance into the building.
That's right. Yeah, because when you go through that main entrance, that's the only concrete floor in the building.
Right, I see. So
it's pretty solid.
So it's reinforced kind of thing. Well, should we go in?
Yeah, let's go in.
Right, let's go in. It's quite.
You want to? There's only two of us. Usually there's our group.
I know. Yeah.
Jimmy, but there's
just us two tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, go on.
Here we go. Here we are. So it's a huge space, isn't it? As soon as you come in. So this stairway here, obviously. It's as we said, the building was built in 1861. It was built by the armed forces, wasn't it, as the volunteer drill hall, and now it's used by the Sea Cadets. But as we know, it's got many other people who visit it of a ghostly.
Yeah.
So go on, tell us about the stuff that's in here.
Well, you know yourself, we've been in here hundreds of times, and we've done many paranormal nights here. Yeah. And as you walk through the main door, there is a set of stairs going up. Yeah. Now, We're not sure, but we found at the far side another set of stairs going down. So it looks like there's one going up and one going down.
So they're blocked up at the moment then?
Yeah. They're bricked up.
Yeah.
But as you come in the door, you actually see them stairs. And it's quite daunting because sometimes when we come in over night time to open up when we're doing the ghost nights or opening up for ghost groups, there has been people or a person seen at the top of the stairs.
And it's very steep and dark, isn't it? That's the thing, it's a bit creepy.
I don't know whether you've been on your own. I've been in many times. You're opening doors and you don't want to look up the stairs because
the thing is I've said this loads of times when I've been in this building, and quite a few times I've been down doing stuff and there's only been me here. And sometimes it feels fine, then other times it just feels the atmosphere can change, can't it?
You feel as if you're being watched.
Yeah, you do,
absolutely. And that's happened a lot of times.
Well, I remember one night, I don't know whether you remember this, we was locking up. In fact, I just thought I saw somebody there then. You know what it is? It's that
door.
It's that doorway over there, just out the corner behind. That's good as we've just come in, isn't it? I remember one night when we was locking up, and do you remember when that door, we locked it, and then we was just about to put the alarm and it went badoom, and it had opened up again?
Yeah, for those who are listening, what it is we're still in the main entrance, and there's a grey door in front of us. And above it says, "Welcome to the Sea Cadets Unit." And, that door, it's locked. When we come in, it's locked, or when we go out, we lock it. And we were just finishing off and closing up and everything else. And the next minute, bang, the door closed. But then it started opening on its own.
It is. And we'd locked it already.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
We both we won't repeat what we were feeling, but we remember.
We won't repeat what we said.
I mean, they're the way to the toilets anyway.
Yeah.
And as you know, there's a little foyer near the toilets.
Yeah.
And that is,
a lot of people have had very strange experiences there. Yeah. So if we go through this door,
the main hall.
This takes us into the main hall, which is, I mean, it's a huge space, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's got these beautiful. It's vast, and obviously it's used by the cadets now. And all sorts of things really, functions, everything such as that. And if you look up to describe it to everyone listening, you can see a beautiful, huge beam ceilings. And what I actually find fascinating about this, as somebody who's interested in old buildings, is you look at the length of them. They're all made out of wood. The fact that that's one continual piece of wood. Imagine how big that tree was.
The weight of it.
And the weight of it.
And on each one of them, as you know, James, there's lines.
Oh, there is, stone heads in them, yeah.
Where they've come from, we don't know. They've been here since the building was built.
Yeah.
But not many people notice them because when they come in, there's so much to see anyway.
Yeah.
You've got the large mural on one wall.
Yeah.
You've got a dance floor here. You've got obviously maritime stuff around.
Yeah.
And your eyes are taken all over the place.
But you don't really. And the thing is, I think because they're all painted a kind of grey colour as well, they're all the same colour. You can't quite make them out. But when you go up there, they're really beautifully kind of carved stone, aren't they? So this, as we're in this space now, I've had some experiences in here.
Yeah.
What's your kind of experiences that you've had in this place, in this particular room?
I'll give you two significant ones.
Yeah.
One was a couple of years back, and we were with a couple of friends here, and we were waiting for people to turn up. We were standing here, and we were talking and everything else, and suddenly, the flagpole you can see in front of you with the bell on it, all of a sudden the rope started to shake and there was a huge bang. Now, there was no one near it. You couldn't jump up and down on the floor and make it happen.
Yeah.
And, there was only 3 of us there and we actually saw it. Now, we know, allegedly, somebody hung themselves in this area.
Above up there where the flagpole is, there is a balcony, isn't there?
Yeah, it's like a gantry, isn't it?
Yeah, which I think when we looked at originally would have been a viewing balcony, but now part of it has been made into offices.
Yeah.
And it's probably about 20 foot high, isn't it? Up to where the rail is on it, It's sad, really, when that would have happened, And
the other experience we had, I was with my partner Marie, and we came in, and another group was coming in to do a night here. And we were just with a couple of the people who run it. Yeah. And we were standing near the main door, the double doors. And we heard this rocking. And it was rock. And it was Millie what's seen it. She looked to the left from the doors.
Yeah.
Across the room. And there was a tombola on a base.
Oh, of course, yeah. There used to be there.
And the tombola was rocking.
Yeah.
Now, what was weird about it was the handle was rocking on its own. So we walked over towards it, and as we walked over, it stopped.
Oh, that's really strange, isn't it?
Now, it stopped with the handle at the bottom. It sounds like, it would do, wouldn't it,
Yeah.
But with this tombola, the handle always stopped at the top. And no matter how many times you rolled it round to the bottom,
it would swing
back up to the top, yeah.
It's very strange, isn't it? And I think it's strange that there was no... I mean, loads of people have had so many experiences in here, but it's strange that there was no one there, really, isn't it?
No, well, I mean, Marie's very sceptical. Yeah. And it's healthy to be like that.
Well, you're quite sceptical
as
well,
really. You know. Not everything's paranormal. Not every tap and every bang and every noise is paranormal.
Yeah.
So you've got to think logically, is it the building, is it this, is it that? But when that happened with the Tombola, there was no explanation for it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the good nights we had here was when me and you were here and we were filming the
we were doing a bit of filming, weren't we? Yeah.
And we went down into the cellar. And
we saw the white...
mist.
Well, we can talk about that when we get in the cellar, can't we? But I had a bit of a strange experience the other week, actually, because I was down here and I was just in this room and there was nobody out. There was other people here, but they were at the other end of the building. And, as you know, I'm quite interested in all nautical things, and it's a big kind of hobby of mine. And I was just kind of stood at the wheel, which we've got a lovely old ship's wheel here, and I was stood just at the wheel, and I was moving it, and whenever I moved it, up at the top, where the kind of balcony is at the back, I could hear tapping. And when I stopped moving the wheel, it stopped. And then when I moved the wheel again, and it was like as though somebody was tapping on the glass. It was very, very strange. Yeah. It didn't spook me, but it was weird, because as soon as I started moving it, I could hear the tapping. But we've also had very kind of cold spots here and all sorts of things, which, in fact, you know what? It's quite funny, because I just thought I saw someone at the... on the balcony, on the balcony.
It's very dark.
It just looked like there was something on there.
I mean, we've been here, and you've done many ghost hunts with me in here. And we've been down in the cellar. We've actually heard footsteps coming across the floor of the hallway. Now, we've been down there, and we thought, we've left the door open, or someone's...
Well, we have, haven't we? Exactly,
we've come up, we've checked the whole building, and nobody's been in here. No one.
And when you walk on this floor, you know... It's a wooden floor, so you can really hear people walking across. And that, I remember the ones, like the loudest they really thudded all the way across, didn't they? And we didn't think it was anything spooky. We just thought, God, there's somebody got in. And we came straight. In fact, it's gone a bit cold here now, hasn't it? We thought, there's somebody come in, and we came up and there was just no one. There was just us in the building, wasn't there? And everyone was in the cellar.
Well, we've had that so many times, though, when there's nobody been here. Man, I know there's a pathway outside the building, but it doesn't creak.
Well, no, it's stone as well, isn't it? And it's kind of...
I mean, do you remember I don't know whether you were here that night, and Lee Arnold and Bill were sitting in here, and we were down in the cellars, and we were calling out, and the next minute we heard them
running across, didn't they? Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And we asked them what was wrong, and they were, you could see that they were rattled. And he said he was sitting in the hallway, and he was just sitting there calling out, and the double doors opened and then closed on them.
And they were terrified, weren't they? I mean, really terrified. Yeah.
And we've had the kitchen, the what they call the galley here, don't they, near the big doors at the far end near the cellars. And we've been sitting here, and we've called out, and the door opened. We've actually got that on video.
We've got that on video, haven't we? Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And there was a TV show here a couple of years ago, an American one, and remember they got a chair on video moving across the deck.
Yeah, that was just here where we are.
Should we go into the? Should we go down into the cellars?
Are you serious?
Yeah, of course I am.
Just the two of us?
Just the two of you.
Come on, then.
We've got to go and do an investigation in a bit, haven't we?
Yeah, no, but...
Sit there in the dark.
Just the two of us.
I'm going to be absolutely terrified.
For those of you who don't know this cellar, and you're wondering why, I know I've done hundreds of ghost hunts in my lifetime.
If you have been here, have you got a torch?
No.
Have you not? Blowing out. It's a good job we've got the lights now. We don't get a power cut.
Yeah, I'm not going down with the lights off at the moment. I've done maybe 400 investigations here. Yeah. And the cellar is always the one that makes me a bit nervous.
It's the place of when you come. I mean, we're just coming down into it now.
And the people who are here are lovely people.
Yeah.
In the paranormal spirit.
In the spiritual sense, yeah. The lights on, yeah. Yeah, but it's just... Well, as soon as you come in here now, we're just going down the steps into it. It's so... I mean, you can... Oh, can you feel how cold it is as soon as you get to this point?
Yep.
And to describe the cellar to you, I mean, it's massive, really, isn't it, Jamie?
Yeah, it is. It's what the cellar was, and what we've been told was, in the wartime, this was actually used as a mortuary. So, you can understand why we're a little bit nervous coming down here. Yeah. And, should we turn them lights on, Jimmy?
I'm going to turn the lights on, yeah.
You know, we're in the middle room now, which is my favourite room.
Yeah.
I've had lots of encounters in here. Actually, this is where we
was on about. We mentioned before about we were sat in here, and it was there was myself, Jamie, and another gentleman, and we were sat here, and to describe the room. It's obviously it's a cellar, but it's a very big room underneath. It's very cold, and it's very, very quiet, isn't it? And when the lights are off, it is pitch black. You can't see your hand in front of your face. And we were sat and we actually saw, probably the best way to describe it is almost like a kind of ray of light, really, wasn't it? That appeared in the corner like a white mist, but it was dark, but it was lighting up. It was it was the strangest thing, wasn't it?
But the mist itself was actually forming into something. Sorry, I thought you had something.
Yeah, no, I did.
It was actually forming into. It looked like it was
forming into something, wasn't it? Yeah.
But the friend who was with us, he got a bit rattled as well, or a bit scared, so we had to put a light on.
And then it was gone.
And it was gone then, yeah. But I mean, we were doing a stakeout with me for when we were doing some filming, yeah. And that was a really good one. But there's one night we were in here with our paranormal group.
Yeah.
And we were all here. I don't think you were with us then, Jimmy. And we were all sitting in here and we were calling out, and you know, I was doing my usual call outs and everything else. And suddenly, from the middle of we sat in a circle in the room.
Yeah.
And we were calling out, and all of a sudden this light came from the ground.
Yeah.
And it just shot up through this ceiling here.
Yeah.
And we all saw it, apart from Roy, who had his back to it all.
Yeah. Oh,
but
really?
Every single one of us seen it.
Everyone saw the actual.
Oh, it lit up the room for like, I'd say a split second, but it lit up. We could see everyone, and then it was gone.
It's so interesting, isn't it? And that's the things that you see where you can do loads and nothing happens, and then suddenly you get something you think, my gosh, what was that? You know?
Yeah, I mean, the stories we're telling now, or what's happened to us, the experiences we've had to us, that hasn't happened over the last 12 months. It's happened
over a period of
4 or
years.
5 years. Yeah, it's not just every time we come on a ghost hunt.
I mean, the first ghost hunt we did was about probably 14 years ago now, wasn't it?
The
Citadel, yeah. Now we're going down the cellar. Now this is a room that you don't like.
I'm
this.
not going in before you. I know what you're planning here, Jimmy. It's not going to happen.
But the weird thing is the energy changes a little bit, doesn't it? As you come down this part, I don't even want to look in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to put the lights on because I'm scared of it.
Well, there was one time I was down here.
Yeah.
And we were standing where we are really. I had another group coming. I was showing them around the building.
Yeah.
Telling them a couple of things. I wasn't telling them stories or names or anything like that. I was just, showing them around.
Yeah.
I was standing where I am now.
Yeah.
And this fellow was standing there, and the girl who was with him was standing. We were standing just talking. Suddenly, the mist come out of that room, and it was just like the only way I can explain it is the
like the e-cigs kind of thing.
Yeah. And it came out, and it just came through here.
Through the door?
Came through the door, it went right next to us, near this, like the lights were on, by the way.
Yeah.
The mist came that way, it went towards the wall there, and it just disappeared.
So strange.
Well, that was the first trip to Mill Street Barracks there, James, and we've got more coming up later on, which is going to be a cracker.
It is indeed.
Yeah, but anyway, let's move on to our topic, which we suggested was paranormal groups.
Yes, this is the first topic of today. Now, I know it's a very special year for our paranormal group this year, isn't it? Because I've only been a member of the group for 3 years, but the actual group is celebrating a 10-year anniversary, isn't it?
It certainly is, and sadly, it's right in the middle of the COVID-19, and so we haven't been able to celebrate like we wanted to do, But
no, but we will do eventually.
We will do eventually. We've got the fireworks prepared and everything else, so we're looking forward to that.
So we actually got fireworks, yeah?
We have, yeah.
So, I mean, I know there's probably a lot of people listening who may have never been on a paranormal investigation, or they might never have, been to. There's lots of different groups. We need to point out. Obviously, lots of different groups who do paranormal investigations. Some of them, like us, do them as a hobby, and then other people do, have a business where they go to different locations and they look at all different things that are going on. You can buy tickets for them. Mm-hmm. So, Jamie, Ghost Quest has been running for 10 years. So how did that get set up in the first place?
Well, before that, we were with another paranormal group, and sadly they disbanded.
Right.
We were left with nothing, So, and, I was sitting there at home thinking, what can I do? How do I do this? Do you know what? We could make our own paranormal group.
Yeah.
And Marie, who's my partner now, wasn't at the time. I went up to her and said, "What do you think of doing this, Marie? You know, we've got groups," because Marie was my friend then as well. You know, and I was like, "What should we do? Should we start our own group? Because we've got other members of the group who were sitting around. Let's get in touch with them." So we got in touch with them. And they were, yeah, let's do it. So I looked into it all and got the paperwork done and registered the name and everything else. We're not actually a business. We just wanted to do it as friends, enjoying, investigating, And along the way, we've, in the 10 years, we've done a lot of charity work, charity investigations, and raised quite a few £1,000 plus. I couldn't even tell you how many. Last time I looked, I think it was about £12,000-13,000 the last time I looked. I don't look. We're just there. And anyway, what happened then is we got together, we started the group Ghost Quest, and the rest is history. We've had a fantastic time.
So obviously, you, as part of your role at Mill Street, you meet many different paranormal groups. And I certainly, over the years have worked with quite a number. Some really fantastic groups. Some other groups who I've been a little bit sceptical of. But, I think that's the same with everything. So what would you say, in your opinion, makes a good paranormal investigation group?
If you walk away at the end of the night and you've thoroughly enjoyed it, everybody who's enjoyed it, and you walk away and thought, yep, I've had an experience, or yeah, that was good. I might not have had an experience, but what a great night we've had. That makes a good group.
Yeah.
I've met hundreds of paranormal groups, as you know, because I open up for groups at Mill Street, and there's been some fantastic groups there, and I've made lots of friends with them as well, you know. And to watch them, to see how they work, I think we all learn from each other. I think if you go with another paranormal group, and I've said that to my group as well, listen, if you want to go with other groups and experience different things, feel free to do so. Yeah. I'm not a person who would say, you with us and that's it.
Yeah, no,
go
absolutely.
with other groups, go and enjoy it. That's what it's all about. And I've done it myself. I've been with a couple of groups. I've been invited along with other groups, and I love it, absolutely love it, because we all work in different ways. We all work the same, but in different ways, if you get what I mean. Some use a lot of technology, some use mediumship, some just use, like me, I just use my senses and see what I feel. I'm not a medium. I'm nothing like that. I'm just an ordinary person who wants to go on investigations. And, yourself, there's hundreds and hundreds of groups out there, and it's great. It's great because, somewhere down the line, we're getting this evidence. Okay, technology is getting in the way in some ways with the little, you can add a ghost to things. There's, the Photoshop and things like that, which makes it a bit more difficult. Yeah. But it also gives us a challenge. Yeah. And, I can tell you ghost stories and you could go, and all that. But if you've had that personal experience, it's true, It doesn't matter what other people think, But I love seeing other paranormal groups. I love experiencing them, and I love seeing their styles as well. What they use, and I mean, we've had people come in. They've got monitors, they've got cameras, they've got this, they've got that. They record everything. Fantastic, I love it all. If you think about it, that's our history. But the funny thing is, we go round as well. And this is a bit of a funny side to the paranormal as well, and it tickled me a few times. We all go round taking hundreds of photographs of empty rooms, or a chair in the middle of the room, or a brick wall, or a window. Our future, they're going to be looking at our photographs going, why have they got so many pictures of empty rooms?
I know what you mean. I mean, I was thinking that. I remember one night, I think we was running a night, a fundraising night at Mill Street, and I remember it was the middle of winter. It was absolutely freezing. It was a Saturday night, and when you have that moment where you think to yourself, God, I could be in the pub now, and instead I'm sat in a cellar underground with the lights off, asking for something to bang on the roof, but it's still fun though, isn't it? I mean?
Yeah, you have the funny moments, and we will be talking about funny times in the middle.
We've had a few, haven't we?
Oh yeah.
So for somebody listening who's never been on a paranormal investigation before, and they think, right, it's something I'd really be interested in doing, I'd always encourage everybody to do it, whether you're a full believer or skeptical. I always think it's good fun. But what would you say that what can people expect from if you was to go on a paranormal investigation? What type of things would you expect?
I think everyone looks at what's on the TV. They all look the same on the TV, or similar anyway. Yeah. You're sitting down in a dark room and someone's calling out, but don't expect things like that. Come along and just enjoy it. We're like friends. When we get there, we're like friends. We'll introduce you. We'll take you on a little bit of a walkabout on the building.
Yeah.
One, that's also to let them make, to give them an idea of what the building's like.
Yeah.
We may not give you the history of the building because obviously we want to pick up on what's there.
Yeah.
And we might do that at the end of it, or if you ask it and things like that. But it's usually organised. What'll happen is you'll come in, we'll have a little chat, and everyone will get to know each other. It's not like one of them. We'll get you all in a big row of people and say, right, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do.
Yeah.
You already know that.
Yeah.
But the people who have never been on an investigation and want to come on one, please come along. It doesn't matter what group it's with. Come along and experience it. I'll tell you now, when I first done my first investigation, and I remember where it was in New Willows in the little centre there, and I was as nervous as anything.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not frightened at all now. Well, I'm saying I'm not frightened. There are occasions when
where you get spooked. Yeah.
Jimmy will admit it. I mean, there are times when we've actually jumped, and that's not usually paranormal. It's usually one or someone jumping out.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Jimmy's
usually always happens to me, that doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, Jimmy's the one who can scream, so we always do a little bit of a pick on Jimmy, which is a bit cruel, but it's fun as well.
It is funny.
Go along, enjoy. It's not. I don't know what all the paranormal groups do because I don't know some of them, but go along, and try. And if you've never been, try a few different groups. Don't just try one group. Try a few different groups.
It's interesting because I've worked with quite a few over the years, and been with different groups and different group. As you say, each group has their own individual style. Now, our group we're quite informal, and we have a really good laugh. And I think that what happens then is that it puts everyone at ease, doesn't it? And some of the places where we go to can be quite spooky, or I'm just thinking of we've been to Northwich Plaza before, which is an old theatre, isn't it?
Superb place. Yeah.
And that is when the lights are off in there, it is pitch black. It's very, very creepy, and it'd be easy in them situations for people to get very scared. But I think the fact that the way our group runs, and I know a lot of other groups do this as well. There's a lot of people there. There's people who've done it, got lots of experience. You might be a bit scared, but you feel safe, don't you? And safety is a real key thing. As I say, I've seen quite a few different groups, and groups have their own ways of investigating. I must say, there's one or two that I've seen who I've not particularly liked the way that they work. But that's not to say that what they do is bad. It's just the fact that I prefer a different approach to doing things. Like we have this debate quite a lot with our group about technology and things like that, because like you say, I personally much enjoy being in a dark room with just using my own senses to see what I experience. But then a lot of other people have this fantastic technology now which they use, and that works for them, doesn't it?
It does. And it's nice with our group, and I'm going to be a little bit biased here because we have been going 10 years. We've got 10 years of experience, and we've learned a hell of a lot along the way. Not just by our errors, but by watching other groups as well. Yeah. There's one good thing about if you go with other groups as well is you learn, and you've got to remember everyone's an individual, and everyone likes something different to other people, and it's very hard to keep that balance, to keep everybody happy. Once sometimes we had it and people said, I wasn't keen on that idea, but we listen to them. We will listen to them. People think, well, that didn't sound, they weren't very happy with that. Yeah. Some people don't like the Ouija board, so we usually keep away from the Ouija board.
We do.
We have people who say, can we have a Ouija board? Well, we will talk about Ouija boards in another subject.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is, particularly when we do, obviously with our group ourselves, all of us who are in the group have all been to many different places, and we've all been experienced, and we're all friends. I think when we run our public events, that can be a little bit different because there's so many different people who each want their own. They've each got their own kind of image of what they expect things to be like, and like you say, the one thing I would always say to people is, if it's something you're thinking about doing, is just go in with a completely open mind. But also, very importantly, I always think as well, is that nobody should fake anything. Now that's a key thing, isn't it?
I'm right 100% behind you there, James. Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah. I've seen it, and it does upset me. Yeah. It happened. I think you were there as well, and we had that experience of someone faking it, and I actually stopped the paranormal. I turned around and said, okay, can we just put the lights on, please? Right, we're going to carry on calling out. I won't pick on the person. I won't say, blah, you've just done that, you've just done that. because that's a form of accusing someone. You can't do that. I just put the lights on and say, right, let's try and do it now, and if it doesn't happen, it makes a point across there. You've got to respect them. That person.
Why do you think it is that people do? Well, I've never understood when people, because I know that some people on events, as you say, that particular example, that was somebody making noises, wasn't it? Tapping and stuff such as that. Yeah. I've never quite understood why people do that, because for me, if you're paying to come along to experience something, then doing that isn't really. It's yourself doing it. You're not experiencing anything at all. What do you think it is that makes people do that?
I don't know. Is it self-attention? Is it because they're bored? Is it because they just want to, just want to make something happen? And as you know, on paranormal investigations, you can go this one place one night, nothing happens. It's happened many times to us. You go the next night, and it could be bouncing off the walls. And I think what it is the people who come along and cheat are wrong, and it's not fair on those who are paying customers. Okay, our group do charity events, we don't make money out of it, but it's not fair on those people who want to come along and experience the real thing, and they think they're getting the real thing until it's exposed. But sometimes I like exposing it because it shows that we're truthful.
Well, absolutely, and
I don't like cheats.
I think the point is that, as I always say to you, and you said the same thing, if you're going to cheat on something like that on one of these paranormal investigations, then it completely defeats the object. You may as well just not come because it defeats the object of doing it. And I think obviously some people very much want to believe in things, and that's fine. But if that then comes to a level where you're then making stuff up, then for me, it's wrong. It's wrong, and it makes the entire thing pointless.
But it's not fair on all the other people neither. You've got to think of them as well. Yeah. But it happens. Yeah. It's very. I've seen it quite a few times, but it's very rare it happens. Yeah. But when it happens, you've got to. You can tell. You've got to put your foot down and say, no, I'm not having this. Yeah.
So, thinking about kind of groups and locations and stuff that we've seen. Obviously, our group's been to many different locations, and we touched before on Northwich Plaza, the old cinema, and it interested me the point that you said then, which I think is a real key thing for anybody attending a group, is to understand that sometimes you can go and there's loads happen, and sometimes you go and nothing at all happens. And if you remember, the first time I went to Northwich, apart from somebody jumping out and scaring me,
and John falling off the stage,
somebody falling off the stage. I had
to bring that in. Jonathan and I fell off the stage.
There was very little that actually happened that night. Really, it was quite. In all honesty, I mean, there was very little went on. It was relatively boring. But the second time we went, which was about a year or so later, there was absolutely loads. And I remember a really specific point where we were stood in the stalls of the theatre. There's no seats in there anymore, so it's a big flat space.
Slope on it,
it's got what's called a rake to it, and it was pitch black. I mean, it was really dark, and myself and Jamie were stood, and I was talking to what I thought was Marie, who had been stood next to me when the lights went off, and we could see someone stood next to us, and we was talking, and then Marie answered, and a voice came from the complete opposite side of the room, didn't it?
That's right, yeah.
And she'd moved.
I was sitting on the floor.
Yeah, you were sat down, and she moved. And we both said, well, who was that? Because there was definitely someone stood by us, wasn't there?
Well, I could see someone standing next to you, James, and it was strange because I thought it was Marie standing next to you, but when you asked Marie something, she was quite a distance away from you, so I just thought, well, who was that? It was weird
because a voice came completely from the opposite direction. Yeah. I was just like, oh my God, I've just seen someone stood there. Yeah. And that just goes to show you, I mean, there was other stuff that happened that night as well, that it is that kind of situation that sometimes there's loads of strange things happen, and other times you can go and nothing happens at all.
Yeah, so if you do go with any kind of groups or, anywhere in the country and nothing happens, don't be disheartened because next time you go, it might just happen, and just keep going and going and going. It's great to go along and just to experience it, and you meet some really, really nice people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've made some fantastic friends, haven't we?
We certainly have. I class our group, Ghost Quest, as a family. We've supported each other through a lot of stuff as well.
Yeah. So we heard a little bit of we had the first part of Mill Street Barracks before, didn't we? Shall we go back there and hear the next part of the investigation?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Even though I was there on the night, I'm still looking forward to listening to it.
Well, we hope you enjoy it too. Here we go with the second part of Mill Street Barracks.
Well, welcome back. We're now back down in the cellar, me, Jimmy, and we've been joined by my partner Marie for the second part of this investigation.
Hello, Marie.
Hiya.
You all right?
Yes, looking forward to this.
So we was a bit scared before, weren't we, when we left? So
You were frightened that I was coming down on my own to the cellar.
And I was just scared because I didn't want to be here with just the two
and
of us.
I don't mind being on my own.
to be honest, Jimmy, what happened was really, me and you went upstairs and it was pitch black in the main hall, and we went, should we contact Marie and ask her to come down? And I was on the phone going, Marie, are you coming down? Marie, you've got to come down. Oh, you'd really enjoy it, Marie.
I'm really watching the series, yeah.
So what we're going to do, Jamie, we're going to do a little invest in this room, aren't we?
We are, yeah. I'll do a little bit of a call out and then we'll go silence. You'd probably go silent. I know it's radio and that, so whatever you do, we've not gone off air. We're just listening out for anything what happens. So I'm going to start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask if there's anybody here with us tonight. Anyone within this building, if you can hear me. Anybody within this part of the cellar, just come forward, come and talk to us. Let us know you're around. You know we've been here many times. We're going to give you full respect and we want that back. I'm going to ask for those who work here or used to work here, if you'd like to come forward. Any soldiers? Was that you then, Jimmy?
It's my fault, sorry.
Okay, fair enough. Please come forward, come and talk to us. I'm going to ask for someone now who has reacted to us many, many times before. So Claire, if you're about, can you come forward? Show us you're around. You've only got me, Jimmy and Marie here. The room has just gone absolutely pitch black. You know, the way we explain it to people is it's dark now, but it goes even darker, as you probably, if you can explain the same thing.
Yeah, it's almost like as though, the way I think the best way to describe it is it's like as though somebody's put something over your eyes, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So even though it's dark before, it goes completely almost you can't see it. I mean, I've got, I've sat next to Marie and Marie's right near me and I literally cannot see you at all, anything, your hand or anything,
I'll move my hand in front of my face now.
I can't see anything.
You not see anything?
The only thing
Actually,
we can see...
I can't, so forget it.
The only thing we can see is the light under the doors.
Yeah,
we've got
lights.
Fire exit lights on. So we can just see them under the doors. But apart from that, we can't see each other at all. No, usually we can, but tonight it was absolutely...
I've just seen... Now, I said just before, didn't I, that I saw something go... behind it, that I thought you was waving your arm, and it wasn't. I've just seen a very small little twinkle of light behind you as well, just to your right hand side.
Me.
Yeah.
Are you leaning on the table, Jamie?
I am, yeah.
Right, I was going to say, yes, it was moving, yeah.
I'm not expecting the table to rock, so I'm just leaning on it. Jimmy, you and your watch.
Oh, I know, yeah, sorry.
Okay, I'm going to ask again. Please, if there's somebody here with us now, come forward, come and talk to us.
You're both on the table.
Just touched my arm.
Yes, I did. I was checking if was everybody on the table.
Please come forward. Don't be afraid of us. We're not here to harm you. I'll introduce myself again. I'm Jamie. I'm sure you know me anyway. I've been here a lot. You know Jimmy, and I'm sure you know Marie as well. So, can you come forward and tell us your name?
What
was that?
That's your phone, just gone.
It's on thing,
yeah, it's on airplane, isn't it?
Yeah.
What did it say? What's it saying?
Error, audio lost. Oh, the recording.
Oh, it's the recorder.
Oh,
Right.
that's a shame,
Oh, that
isn't
was
it?
interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's weird,
Yeah,
that.
it's debunked.
Right, let me just turn that record. Shall I turn the recording off?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go on, because I'm recording anyway, so it's okay.
I didn't expect that, so, yeah.
A bit weird, isn't it?
Do you want me to turn it off?
No,
or-
try recording again. If it goes off
It's-
again,
I think
we
it's
know there's
still
a fault.
going.
It's still recording.
Yeah.
That's still recording.
Oh, it's a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah, keep it going.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Jim, I'm going to ask you
Where's
to
the
do a
table?
call now.
Oh,
See, I have to say, at the moment, I feel very uneasy. Now, it's easy to say that when you're in a dark room underground, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But the way I feel, it's almost as though behind where you go, obviously you're sat opposite me, there's it feels like there's something that's moving around behind you then. I've just seen something go past and it's come past me again here. Now, every time we do a vigil in this room, we always get something that walks. If we're in a big circle, we always get, it feels like there's something walking around the circle, and it feels like it's right behind me and Marie now at the moment, which is a little bit creepy. Okay, I'll ask now. If there's anybody here, any spirit person here who wishes to talk to us, if you wish to communicate with us by your voice or a tap, making the room go cold, or coming close to us and touching one of us, please can you make yourself known to us? You know as well, we come here regular, we're all friends with you. We'd love to talk to you if we can.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I'm going to tell.
Yeah,
So what I'll do, I'll redo that call out if that's all, and then we can, because I'll just nip it, cut it in just before then. Yeah, it's weird that it keeps doing that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Says recording too. Right. How do I turn that off?
Just.
Is that it? I think.
Press the like that. Press the bottom and then it just slides upwards. That's it.
Right, let me take.
Now let's see.
Let me double check that my airplane's off. Yeah, airplane mode.
Right, well, if it goes again, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Just turn the light off. Right.
Okay, I'll just do a little reference for it. Okay, just a little edit reference here that what we're going to do is we're going to go back into my call out so we can cut into call out. So this is a very, I mean, it's a strange feeling in this room at the moment for me. What do you guys think?
I'm calm at the moment, but I get the feeling that we're not on our... I mean, if you just breathe on me, you've just done a silent.
I've just took a breath, yeah.
Okay, that's what it was then, yeah. No, that's okay, that's what it was.
See, I just feel like there's something that is just coming around. Every time we do this and we do a circle, we always get, a lot of people get the feeling of that somebody's walking around the actual circle.
You just move your chair?
I've not moved my chair.
I've just heard that.
Yeah, the chair next to me's just moved.
The one that no one sat on?
Yeah.
Oh, you having a laugh?
No, I'm not having a laugh. It's just hit my foot.
No, I heard it. I
heard the noise. I thought it was you moving your chair.
No,
I'm staying dead still.
Okay. Should we call out? I'll call out.
Go for it.
Right.
You alright?
No, I've just seen lines right under my cheek, like my face, my chin, my nose. What's that?
That's the table, but I think that was me, sorry.
Okay.
It's creepy enough noise, isn't it?
No, I've just got two lines that just came straight under my face, between my cheek and my eyes.
What did they look like?
About...
What was that? Did you...
What's that noise?
That's the table.
No.
Who's
Shush.
The glass.
The glass.
Is the glass on the table?
The glass.
My hands are on the table.
My arms, I've got goosebumps
Can I
all
just
over
ask
me.
someone to just put a light on, see where the glass is?
The glass.
Just turn the light on a minute.
That's what it sounds like.
Just turn the light on a minute.
I haven't got a light.
I'll have to reach out and see, where's my phone?
There we go.
Let's see where my hands are to the glass. But
See, we are. I can. This is the thing. Listen.
My hands here. It's nowhere near that glass.
No, it's not the glass.
That's the what is it?
What's that noise?
We've now got a light on.
And the glass isn't moving.
Can you do it again, please?
I mean, we're completely still, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Can you hear it? It's like a...
Can I just try something?
Everybody lift their arms up.
Do it again.
I wonder whether it's because we've got pressure on the table, you know.
Okay.
Everybody, well, I'm not on the table anyhow, so...
Well, what I'll do is we'll take our hands off the table for now.
Yeah, I'm going to sit back.
Because I wonder whether or not... In fact, let me just try and...
See if you can remake that noise.
No, it's not
You
making...
press on there where you was, Jamie.
Let me press on it to see.
Let me pressing it now. No, it's not doing it.
No. So what was it? That chair definitely moved.
I heard it move. I actually heard the noise. It sounded like it went... The best way to describe it is it sounded like that, didn't it? Like, but not quite as... A little bit more gentle, yeah. Okay, right, well, I'll tell you what...
Just for the listeners anyway, we've been here a lot, and I can 100% guarantee that the people who are with me, both Jimmy and Marie, are seasoned paranormal investigators like myself. We've done it for over 10, 12, 13 years now. I trust them 100% as they would me, and there's no way none of us would have moved that chair.
No.
We didn't expect little things to happen like this tonight. I was expecting to come down here, do this for the show, and nothing happened.
Yeah, which has happened so many times, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Marie's going to keep the torch handy now.
Okay, I'll turn it off.
We want the torch off.
Torch
I'll
off.
turn it off.
I've got my hands very gently resting on the table whilst I'm holding the recorder, but I'm just going to keep it.
Well, I'm keeping my hands on my lap.
Keep it there. Okay. So I'm asking out now if there is anyone here, any person here, any spirit person who wishes to talk to us, or anyone in this building who wants to communicate with us. Please come forward to us, use our energy, let us know that you're here. Oh, I've just seen something go past my right side then, again. Let us know that you're here with us.
Jimmy?
What?
Please
don't tell me a big shadowy tall thing.
A shadow, I was going to say.
I've just seen it then.
Yeah, but this moved from... I'm sitting opposite you, so it was from your right to your left.
Right.
But I don't know whether it was my eyes adjusting or what, but it would just look like a shadow.
See, I feel really spooked at the moment. I feel like there's something right behind me. I've
calm.
got goosebumps over my side.
But
let me just try something. Let's just try this. If there's somebody behind me at the moment, and I do think that there is, can you move around from me and can you go and stand right behind Jamie for me, please?
How are you feeling, Marie?
I'm just taking everything in. My eyes...
Shh. Do you hear that? No, there was a boom.
Was there?
Yeah, very faint. Almost like a bang upstairs.
My eyes are adjusted anyhow, so I feel like they are. So I'm just taking everything in now.
If you are here, can you make a tap or a sound? If you're above us, can you bang your feet? Anything you can to let us know that you're here with us.
It's getting dark again.
It's just an uneasy feeling in here tonight, and I don't like it. And I've been in here hundreds of times.
Can your sleeve just cover your watch up slightly?
I'll just put it under my desk, yeah.
I'm okay. I'm not scared or nothing like that.
Yeah.
No.
At the moment, no. I'm not feeling any kind of fear. I'm just getting the feeling that, as you know, this building's been on lockdown now since March, so no paranormal investigation has been happening in here. And I think we've come in at the right time in one way to do the radio show.
Yeah.
So maybe this is what we wanted, the atmosphere to, maybe they're...
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
They're coming round, so I don't know. But this is our first investigation, or mini investigation since, was it March? February, March?
Well, February it was. I think the thing about that I find a bit strange, and I know I've said this, is that it is pitch black in here, isn't it?
It's very black. That's
and, psychologically, when you're in that situation, naturally your senses are heightened anyway, so you are picking up on, you are kind of getting more alert to things. But I have to say, the weird thing is that, as you said before, there's a little bit of light coming to the doors, but I saw something go across there, and I can see things moving, almost lighter, just behind where you and Marie are, Jamie.
I'm trying to think logically as well, because you know what I'm like. I do think logically. At the moment, I'm trying to explain the shadow, what I've seen behind you. Whether it was just my eyes adjusting, I'm going to take it down to that.
Yeah.
The chair I can't explain. But, the atmosphere has changed. It has gone very, very, very dark. But I'm not feeling threatened. I'm getting that feeling that there's something here, but I don't know what.
Yeah, I feel there's something round.
Yeah.
Can
I just ask you a question? Is anyone leaning on the table, touching the table?
No,
absolutely.
I've got my hand just resting on the table because I'm holding the recorder, and the table feels like it's moving. It feels like it's moving towards me and moving back again like one of you guys is leaning on it and pushing it.
My hands are on
Can
my
I
back.
ask you just to gently put your hands on the table and tell me if you think...
Where is the table? Oh, there's
Have
the
you got
table.
If you think that it feels like it's moving, because it feels like it is to me. It's like
I've
as though it's
got both my hands
pulsing.
on the table resting.
The thing is, could it be like because you're holding your, the recorder to record?
Exactly.
Could it
shaking
be,
it
your muscle tension?
No, it could be. That's why I want you just to check, because I think it could just be me, but it just feels a bit strange.
So you lift your arms off. Let's have a.
Right. Can you feel anything?
No, it's calm.
No. Okay.
Minnie, do you want to have a go calling out?
So if there's anyone here, if besides any adults, there could always be children here. So is there any little children here? Any teenagers?
Is that you, Jimmy?
Nope.
What's the little clickings?
I heard a click then.
And again, what's that?
That sounds like it's between you and Marie.
It sounds like under the table. No, I've not got my hands on the table at the moment.
What was there? That scratched under the table.
Did you hear it?
I didn't hear it. I actually felt it under my arm.
You felt it under your arm?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I actually felt it under my hands.
Okay. Well, I've got my arms.
No, I've got my hands off the table.
You just feel under the table. Oh. I was a bit scared then because I thought, can you imagine if you felt something?
There's a spider there, yeah.
No. Right. What's that noise?
That's on the table.
I've got my hands off the table.
I've got my hands off the table.
But the scratch felt like it was on the underneath of the table, like under my hand, sort of thing.
Let's keep asking and see if we get it, because my hands, I've literally got my hands up here in the air. I'm not touching the table at the moment.
I've got
I can see where your hands are because of your watch.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Right, my hands are right in front of me against my chest. So if there's any little children here, any teenagers, is there anything that you want to tell us? Have you got mum or dad here with you? Maybe you're looking for mum or dad. Have you got any friends with you? Can you call out your name? What's your name? Or what's your friend's name? Why don't you come and sit at the table with us? Can you pull the chair out and sit down? Come and have a sit down with us. Do you want to play cards or snap? Do you want to sing? Maybe Ring a Ring a Roses. Do you know that one?
Oh.
Did you hear a noise?
No, I didn't hear anything. I just seen like a faded light between me and you, and it was like it leaned forward and then moved backwards.
Hiya.
And that was the corner. That's the corner of my eye thing.
I've got my eyes shut at the minute.
Okay, who's here? Did you want to come and chat? Do you want to come and sing? Are you with your friend? Are you on your own? Are you a boy?
Right, I can hear what sound. It's very subtle, but it sounds like there's knocking under the table. I don't know whether it's just me, but it's a. Did you? I don't know whether you could hear it or not. It might just be.
No.
I'm just going to gently rest my hands back on the table now, just so you know.
Is there any little girls here? Any teenagers? You don't need hide. Come on round.
What was that?
That's that noise again. I don't know whether... Let me just try something. Sorry, I'm just trying to eliminate this.
Mm-hmm.
I had my hands on the table.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not. If I'm lifting my table... Listen, lifting my hands up and down, it's not doing it. So I thought it was... I've moved my hands and it's done it, but it's not. Look. I mean, I'm saying, look, you can't see what I'm doing, but...
No, I can't.
Well, we
Do
can.
you want to sit back a little bit and rest your hand on maybe on your lap?
Yeah, I'm just going to... I'll just hold that there, that's fine. If No Name is here, my little friend, who I've spoken to many times, if you're here with us, and I think you are, can you make a sound or do something for me, please? Can you move the table?
I just love the way he calls him No Name.
I always call him No Name. Can you move the table or can you move the chair or make a tap? Make us go cold if you can.
I'm going to ask you if there's anybody upstairs in the main hall. Can you walk across the floor so we know you're around?
Or if there's any children in here, we've got a little ball on the chair. Go and pick it up, have a play. Roll it on the floor, roll it to me.
Can you copy me? Are you curious now? Because there's not been people in here for a long time. And all of a sudden we're here. Maybe you don't understand what's happened. Maybe you don't understand that we've not been allowed to come into the building to do any of this because of the government and because of a virus what's going around the world at the moment. So we've had to keep our distance from people. We've not been able to come out. We've not been able to do our normal everyday things for 5-6 months now. But we are now. We're here. We're starting to come out of that little bit of a phase what we've had, and we're able to come in and talk to you again. No one was meant to ignore you. We were just in that situation where we couldn't come anywhere near the building to do anything like this. Maybe, you couldn't understand why we weren't here, why nobody's been here. Okay, you may have seen people over the last month coming in and doing things, getting things sorted, ready to go back to some kind of normality. So people will be able to come in again. We're just lucky that we're one of the first, we are the first people to be able to come into here at Mill Street Barracks and do a call out to you. You know who we are.
Sorry.
It's your now. You've got that opportunity to come forward. You don't have to be afraid of us. We weren't neglecting you in any way. We weren't ignoring you. Sadly, we just weren't allowed to come and talk to you or make contact with you. So please, come forward. Come and talk to us now. It's a very good opportunity for you to do that. There's only 3 of us here. We just need to know that you're around still. Whoa!
What?
Just 3. Oh my God.
What's up?
Seriously. On my leg.
Yeah.
Just like, it felt like 2 or 3 just taps as if someone was touching my leg.
Oh.
Really?
3 of them. So I'd say 2 or 3. Another way it's in like quickness.
Tap.
Well, I have just gone, I've just got my arms on the table, I've just gone freezing cold. Absolutely freezing cold.
Did you move forward, Jamie? Because I
No.
just saw a pack in front.
Don't
I
knock me,
seen a
it's
lot of how can you say white lights when there's no light?
No, I understand exactly what you mean. It's like flickering, isn't it?
Yeah, and I could see it from the table, and then you said that. But I'm just thinking, just...
Did you hear that then?
Behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is how it... For those of you who are listening, if you've ever done a paranormal investigation before, what you find is that they do take quite a while, and this you're listening to now, we've actually had to kind of cut things out just because it does take time, but things build up over a period and you get more and more things happening, and then sometimes it just stops dead, doesn't it? To excuse the pun. Mm-hmm. But it does, and at the moment it feels like it's building. I feel like there's 4 of us sat around this table. There's 3 of us here. We're all distance apart, obviously, with social distancing, but we've got a fourth chair here because of the way the table's been set, and it feels to me like there is somebody sat in that chair, and it's quite creepy.
Well, James, I'm hoping the listeners listened to that and really enjoyed it, because on that night it was quite spooky, but we'll talk about that in the next show.
I tell you what, it was a creepy night, wasn't it? And there's still a little bit more to come.
Yeah. And let's just tell a quick story about when, before we started the investigation, we'd gone down and he said, let's do an investigation off here. And we go, yeah, okay. And as we were walking up the stairs and we got into the hallway, we were thinking, should we ask Marie to come down as well?
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah, we went because we went round, to just to get the room set up and everything, and put all the lights on, because obviously there was nobody else in there, and it was that eerie that we said we don't want to just do it on our own. So we phoned Marie up to come down and join us.
And it was like, Marie, do you want to come down now? And she was going, no, I'm watching something on the TV. No, you're going to really enjoy this.
You're going to really enjoy it tonight.
She turned around and said, you're frightened, aren't you? And James in the background goes, yeah, come down. And Marie came down, and what a night we had.
It was great. And the next part, the final part, is going to be great, because something happened which we really can't explain. But anyway, we're going on to our next subject, and we're just going to have a little chat about haunted locations. And I think for the first show today, we're really talking, before we start bringing on our guests on the future shows, we're talking about our own experiences and haunted locations. What would you say is your top haunted locations you've been to?
Let's see, I've been to loads of locations. I think the ancient Ram Inn down in
is it Wootton Under Edge?
Gloucestershire.
Gloucestershire,
that's the one. Yeah. I enjoyed it there. I've been there a couple of times.
So the Ancient Ram Inn is apparently the most haunted building in the country, isn't it?
And the fella,
it's been on every television show hasn't it? I think.
And the fella who run it at the time, John Humphreys, sadly he's passed away now. What a lovely man he was. Yeah. When I went down there, I used to sit with him for a little bit. Yeah. And then I used to talk to him on the phone. I got to know him quite well in that way.
So describe what the Ancient Ram looks like for listeners. It's because it's a very old building, isn't it?
How do you explain the Ancient Ram Inn? It's like a museum, a living museum, because obviously somebody lived there. When you go into it, as soon as you get there, you feel the presence, you feel the atmosphere.
And on the pictures, I mean, I've never been to it, unfortunately, but on the pictures I've seen, it's a kind of old timber framed building with very creaky looking roofs and things.
It looks like an old pub.
Yeah, and was it actually a pub? It was a pub. I don't know.
I'm not sure. It probably was. Yeah, I don't know the full history of the build. I know when I was talking to John, he was saying about it. It was like 1,500 years old, and at one time he wanted to demolish it to put a road through there.
Oh, really?
He stopped it. Yeah,
because he spent many years doing work to it, didn't he? Just on his own.
Yeah.
And
I still remember, going in there, and he slept downstairs actually in like his little living room on the settee. And he had the books there, and if you went into his kitchen, there was a motorbike in the kitchen and that. But it was one of those, it was like a walk-in museum that you're doing a paranormal investigation in. Yeah. And there was room after room. He had the bishop's room.
Yeah. Is that the one you have to knock before you go in?
I didn't knock before I went in.
I think I've seen
I ran
that
on the
before.
way out. But the barnyard, and that, as you know, Most Haunted went there. And I think Ghost Adventures did it as well.
Ghost Adventures did it too,
but we'd done it in between them. And when we were down there, the very first investigation we did, we actually had to abandon it because we went with another group as well. And there was that many things going on. And one of the girls... she had this scream on her that we all just shot up and ran because we thought she'd hurt herself.
Oh, right, yeah.
She was as white as anything, and she was trying to explain that something tried to grab her on the leg and everything else. And in the end, we all sat there, and we always have meetings, if something we feel as if, we're going to be in a little bit of a danger or we're not feeling safe, we'll sit and talk about it and say, well, should we stop now, before... you've got to think of safety as well as everything else, and your sanity at times.
Of course, yeah.
So the first time we abandoned it, and we went down a month later as our group. We just went on our own, and that was just as good. The first time, I had a really good experience in there. But we'll talk about it when we have our little talks about our ghostly experiences.
You've got to tell us a little bit about the experiences. Come on, share one
James, now. Yeah, okay. Then the first time we went there, I was going to keep this for our ghost stories, but okay then. If the listeners want to hear it and you want to hear it, what happened was we were in the barn, and when we were in the barn, we were calling out and everything else. And, suddenly I could see these sparks at the end of the barn, you know. And,
what, like, as in...
Like electrical sparks, you know,
oh,
the blue
really?
sparks and that.
Yeah.
And I just thought, it's probably one of the plugs, you know, it's an old building, it's one of the plugs, the lights are switched off.
If a plug was sparking, I would have been out of there.
But then, and it's never happened to me before, and I remember at the time there was a girl called Kerry in our group, and she was sitting next to me.
Yeah.
Then there was Hazel, and then there was a couple of others on the other side.
Yeah.
And I'd never experienced it before, but my chair started to rock from side to side. And
Isn't it? It was actually like you could feel it moving.
Yeah, and I was thinking, is it muscle spasms? Is it this and all this lot? So me being me, I went, could you please stop? You know, we're giving you respect.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to give us respect
and
as well.
Did it make it move more?
No. The chair stopped.
Oh, did it really?
It actually stopped, yeah.
Oh,
I went,
wow.
that's strange, you know.
Yeah.
But it came back a little bit harder than what it was before. It started rocking, you know, harder. James. And anyway, I said to Kerry next to me, I said, Kerry, just put your hand on the chair and just feel this. And she could feel the chair rocking like hell. And I went, this is
just
really
got this
weird.
image on this shaking chair now.
Yeah. But anyway, the next thing was I asked it to stop again, and again it stopped. But I was a bit more like, stop, please. I'm asking you to stop. It stopped. I thought, oh, this is good. You know, whatever it is, it's listening. So I kept looking down the barn. It was dark. You know, you're looking down. You know whereabouts everything is.
Yeah.
And the next minute, I seen this mist coming up, and it shot up towards the table we were sitting at. And just as I was about to say something, Hazel said to me, "Be careful, Jamie." You know, suddenly this thing appeared in front of me. Still don't know what it is to this day. Can't explain it.
And what did it look like?
It's hard to explain. Whether it was my eyes or what, but it looked like some kind of a face.
Right.
But then it was like looking into my face, and then was gone. You know,
very strange. I mean, it's such a strange location because it's kind of like, you know, I mean, I've seen, as I said before, I've never been to the ancient ram, but I know that there was bones discovered underneath it.
That's right.
There?
Yeah.
Apparently, it sits on ley lines, which
straight
are the kind of energy lines that go to Stonehenge.
Stonehenge, that's right. Yeah, and then you've got Avebury Stone, so you've got a really
kind of
good
sits on the intersection,
line,
doesn't it? And the theory about ley lines is that if you've got Google, you can look on the internet at these, but that spirits can travel along ley lines, and intersections are usually kind of hotspots, aren't they?
Well, I would call them as the ghost highway.
Well,
highway for ghosts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But yeah, if anybody's not been to the ancient ram,
and it's still, I mean, obviously, I think with coronavirus, I don't know whether it's open at the moment, but I know that John's daughter runs it now.
That's right.
And I know that they are still very much having paranormal nights there, so it's certainly a really great place to visit.
But yeah, I mean, sadly, John's passed now, and that was the last time I went, and he was such a lovely man. But yeah. And I've got loads of locations I'd like to, even the ones where you can, go and walk about as well. The free ones. Yeah. Where you can go Wepper Park. That's a really good place to go.
So whereabouts is Wepper Park?
It's in Connors Quay in Wales.
Oh right, okay.
That's a really good one to go to.
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah. There's the priories. In Runcorn there's a priory. You can go up there. So there are places you can go on your own and have a walk around. You know. Yeah. But be respectful to them as well. Don't go. Cause any problems, just enjoy it.
My number one location has to be Tupre Castle. And I've been fortunate enough to be involved with Tupre since I was 18. And it's one of those places where I remember the very first time I went. To describe where Tupre Castle is, it's a beautiful medieval castle. It's in a place called Tupre, which is kind of near Burton-upon-Trent, so in the Midlands, and the first time I went, I felt like I'd been there before. I can't describe it, but I felt like I'd been there, and I've been going back ever since. And I've got many friends there, and that for me is an amazing building. I've seen some very strange things, and it's a lot of the castle is ruined now, but there is the kind of main part with the great hall and other rooms there, and it's strange really because it doesn't really scare me because I almost feel home from home there, if you know what I mean. It's not that I live there or anything, because obviously I don't, but it has that feel about it that it's got such a homely feel that you instantly feel connected to it. I've never been able to describe that, and I know a friend of mine who is also normally comes down with me. As soon as he went, he felt exactly the same. It's a great place, and I have to say that I had, I've seen some pretty weird things there over the years, and obviously Tupre Castle's been on lots of TV shows, paranormal shows and everything such as that. But I think probably one of the strangest I've seen was when there was one night we'd been down working at an event down there. Nothing paranormal. We was just working on an event. I think it was a fun for day or something such as that. And on the evening we were staying over. We were just sat outside. We were just having a cup of tea, and it was night time. And we saw a figure going across the lawn. And the only way to describe the figure is if you get like a plume of, when you see vapes that people have. I've got one, and it makes that big plume of smoke. It was almost like that drifting across the lawn, and it went down and went through an arched doorway into what's called the South Range, which is a ruined part of the castle, which originally I believe was where Mary Queen of Scots was imprisoned at Tupre Castle several times. It was her most hated prison, and apparently that's kind of one of the areas where she was imprisoned in. And we saw it go down. It went across and it went down and through. Now there's no way out of there, and it was the strangest thing because we weren't scared, but it was just really weird. It didn't. I couldn't even say it looked like a person. It was just like a plume of smoke that went across. And I've never... That was one of the strangest things I've seen there. But I absolutely love that. That's my number one location. Number 2 is Mill Street, but number 1 has to be Tupre Castle for me.
We've got to have Mill Street. We can't be biased. Mill Street is a fantastic place to go to for paranormal investigations. But we want to move away from Mill Street and explain other locations we've been to. We love Mill Street Barracks. We're based in Mill Street Barracks.
Yeah.
But there's loads of places. I mean, I did a prison. We're the only group ever to do this prison. I can't name the prison.
Yeah.
And we had a fantastic night there.
Yeah.
A lot of people hung there.
Well,
we actually did the condemned man's cell.
One of my favourite places I've been to was Morecambe Winter Gardens.
Yeah.
Which obviously has been on the telly a lot again. And that was that's a beautiful old theatre, and there's a lot of people working very hard to kind of restore it. And the night we went there was a typical it was October, it was raining, it was a howling gale, the building was creaking, there was banging, but just with the wind, but how atmospheric. And although there wasn't, for me, a great deal of things happened in terms of like paranormal stuff, it was just great to spend that time in a building, just in that building like that. Right, it was quite amazing, really, And
a lot of people think that, buildings that look medieval, buildings that look Victorian and everything else, they're the places to go to. But modern houses sometimes are quite good to go to as well.
A really good example, 30 East Drive.
East Drive, yeah. But the other thing about that is that people go, oh, yeah, but it looks modern and all that. It's where it was built.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done a ghost hunt in where I work, and people were saying, yeah, but it's just a big warehouse. And I said, no, it used to be a working dock.
It was, and the warehouse itself is the original, even though it's all been modernised, it's still the original warehouse building and walls, and it's on the docks. The dock site is original, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
That was a really interesting one actually, because I don't think it would be on me top 10 list.
No, but, I work there, so I'm used to it,
But I also do think that we had some really interesting stuff happen, didn't we?
Well, yeah.
Kind of lights going on and off and noises and things.
I think Jane and Marie were at the far end, and they had the ropes moving in the back,
Yeah, they did, yeah.
But it didn't do anything for me because, I work there and I'm there every single day. So, it was like being back in work to me. But it was nice to see the group enjoying it and getting the experiences and that. But we've done ghost walks as well. We enjoy doing the ghost walks. We did the cemetery in Liverpool, St James's Cemetery.
Did you? What was that? Was that good?
Yeah. I went with another group then. They were doing it one night in I think it was February or March, and he said, Jamie, do you want to come down? Off the cuff thing. And I said, yeah, we'll come down. It was Michelle Louise who would be coming on. I think she's coming on soon anyway.
So she might be on next week.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say that, James.
Oh,
thank you.
Well, that's all right. Don't worry about it. But I'm sure our listeners will love Shell.
And she's brilliant.
Yeah.
But I went with her group, and they were great.
Yeah.
We had a really good experience that night.
So what kind of stuff happened?
Well, we moved. What happened was the ladies stayed on one side of the section, and we sent 3 or 4 of us over to the other side. But we had walkie-talkies, and we had I can't remember what they call it, like a Bluetooth speaker.
Oh right.
So we could hear what they were saying through the speakers.
Yeah.
And we actually got something come through on the speakers. As they were asking, we were getting the sounds.
Yeah.
And then we had REM pods.
So what's a REM pod?
A REM pod. All I describe a REM pod is a little round circle with an aerial on it, with a little red light on it, because I don't use them that much. And if there's nothing there, it doesn't go off. If there's any kind of energy what comes near it, it bleeps. It goes beep beep beep.
Yeah. So if you put your hand near it, it kind of goes
it goes off.
The nearer you put your hand, it makes a noise. It goes
gets,
beep, 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 like
that went off a couple of times but what the girls were doing was asking them to do something over here, next to us, come towards us, and the REM pod went off, and there was no other explanation for it. And also we could hear things. We could see things happening over there, but they couldn't hear us. We were trying to talk to them on the walkies, but they couldn't hear us. Then they could hear us, so it was like on-off things like that. And then the next minute they radioed us to go back over there. But it's an open place. You can go there, you can experience the paranormal.
So do you not think though, in that kind of context, that you're gonna? I mean, I know where it is, and it's right in the centre of Liverpool, behind the cathedral, in a bit of a dip. It's open 24 hours. Would you not think that some of that sound could just be, people going through, or people walking past, or cars? The kind of. I'm just thinking, if you think of a truck going down the road and the kind of sound, how that sound distorts and things,
Well, it's I can see where you're coming from, and people shouting because you're not far from the town centre, and a lot of people go back and forth there. But when you're down there and they say, "Can you do this? Can you go over to them?" And they were pointing where we were, and can you do this? Can you go and do it now? Now there was a slight delay because they were actually going live on Facebook at the time,
right? And
when they were saying, "Can you do this?" and it was going off, it makes you think, well, they're asking them to do it and it's going off.
Well, yeah,
and it happened 3 or 4 times when they were doing it. So if it was somebody right up on the balcony, up on the top, they couldn't set it off because you have to come up to it and virtually put your hand right next to it for it to go off. Yeah. So that was interesting, and things like that. And as you know yourself, the cemetery itself is well known for hauntings anyway. Yeah. You've got the I think it's the priest or the doctor who goes through there and rounds the children up and things like that.
It's very creepy, isn't it? Speaking of creepy, shall we go back to Mill Street Barracks?
Are you sure? I hope the listeners are going to enjoy this part, because this is the last part of it now, and it's the best part.
Well, here we go.
Right, Jimmy, Marie, we've moved into the main part of the cell now, the corridor part.
Yeah.
But I've sent Marie into the room I don't go into, and put my recorder in there. So
Marie's braver than both of us, isn't she?
So what we've done is we put the EVP in there now, and it, obviously we're going to be sending Marie to go back in for it, because I certainly won't be going for it.
You don't like that.
If you two don't, I think my phone's going to be there until the next time the daylight comes.
Yeah. Okay, whoever's here, I know there's people here with us. Please, can you make a sound? Let us know whereabouts you are. If you want us to come to where you are, make a sound. Do anything you can. We're going to go quiet, and if you can make a sound and let us know where you are, please do it now.
Did you?
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Was that like a whisper?
I heard a...
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that, no.
I did. That was round there, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the corridor. We're not on either end. We're in the middle of the corridor, and that sounded like it was quite close to us. Actually.
Yeah, it did. Let's just ask again. Stay dead still. If that was you who made that sound, could you do it again, please?
If you're up in the main hall and you can hear us, we're down in the cellar. If you could walk towards us, that would be fantastic. Or come and join us in the cellar. Or just follow my voice to where I am and come down to us. If there's anybody here with us now down in the area, come towards us, make a sound, move something.
Right, let me just move my feet, because at the moment I feel like I'm swaying, so I just want to put one foot in front of the other.
No, are you alright, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Do you want to call out?
Yeah, okay. If you're here, we know and you know that this was the mortuary at one time. Sorry. Jeez. Sorry.
It's him with the recorder. What's moving across the light? What's that shadow there?
Probably the spider.
Is it?
Well,
That's weird.
I've just seen a massive shadow go across here.
I've seen a shadow, but I assumed it was like...
Right, just stand here in between us and just watch this shadow here. It might be the spider. Might be a spider going over the emergency light. Right, go on, Jamie.
Ask again if there's somebody here or anybody here. Please come forward. There's only us three here, and we're not going to do you any harm. We've come with respect. We just want to know who you are. Maybe you know who we are. And if you do, come forward. If that was you with the shadow and it wasn't a spider, let us see that again. Did you work here? Were you based here? Were you one of the nurses who worked as part of the TB hospital which overflowed into Mill Street? Do you just visit because you like the building like we do? We enjoy visiting here. Is that what you do? You've been here so many times, you like to pop in and pop out. Can you show yourself in the best way you possibly can, whether that's a light form, whether you can appear to us, whether it's in sound? Can you drop something or throw something on the floor so we can hear it or see it?
we've got a ball back in the room that we was originally in, and it's on the seat. There's still a glass on the table sat there.
I'm really sorry. Did anyone hear that noise then, that breath?
I just yawned.
Oh, for God's sake, it was you. Oh, it's right, spooked me that then. I thought, oh, sorry, Marie, I thought it would creep me out.
Yeah, but doesn't that, while we're on that, doesn't that show that how easy it can be that you can be spooked by something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I mean, I think
your
that
senses
so
are
logical.
high.
the thing is that you think about it now. We're in here, we're in a cellar which we've been told has got ghosts in it. We've all experienced strange things in here before.
We have.
It's not as dark in here as it was in the other room, but it's still very, very dark. There's just a tiny bit of green light. There's spiders. There's other rooms going off which are pitch black. And your mind is, your mind is a wonderful thing, but it's also it puts you in that heightened state, doesn't it? You know.
But you're also concentrating on
please.
everything. Sorry.
Okay, just carry on talking and just listen out.
You're concentrating, like I was saying before, you're concentrating on every sound, every pin drop, anything, and you're trying to define that from whether it's logical or paranormal. And like you've just done then, Marie, where we've done it so many times, and that we've all had conversations when it's been really quiet, and as soon as you have them conversations,
you hear
have
noise.
a chat, bang, something kicks in, and it makes you alert again because you know that it's there.
It's like we have this. We talk a lot about laughing, and we always have. When we're doing this, we always have a good laugh.
Yeah, we have banter.
But how many times have we been doing this? Have we been in the middle of talking like we're doing now? We're talking about something, and then when we're doing it, that's when we get something will happen. Like it's almost as though when you wait for it, nothing happens. And then when you are having a conversation and doing your normal thing, that's when you hear it. But if you think about it, Jamie, I mean, a lot of paranormal sightings are not people doing ghost hunts and things. It's just people going about the day-to-day business, and suddenly something will happen, which they go, my gosh, what? They'll see something or something will move or whatever. And it's not when they're doing paranormal stuff. It's just when they're just doing the normal, day-to-day, going about the day-to-day lives, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, yourself, we're brave when there's three of us.
Yeah.
But I certainly wouldn't come down here on my own, and I'm sure you wouldn't. We all know Marie would.
No, Marie would. But the thing is though, I think my worry about it as well is that one, I get spooked, and it is a very spooky place where we are. It's damp, it's dark, it's full of spiders. it's decaying in a lot of ways, isn't it? Really, the paint comes off the walls. But I think the other thing that always worries me as well is from a more realistic sense is that I think if I do get scared, that I'm. Can you?
It's me.
Oh, sorry. I think if I do get scared and I run, I'm also worried that I might fall and hurt myself or something. You know what I mean? Because there are some.
But also when you're not, if you've done this on your own, which will never happen.
No.
There's that highlight of your imagination kicks in, and your sensitivity kicks in, and your fear kicks in, and it makes it even worse then. Whereas if with the three of us, we've got each other.
You've got other people to protect.
We can protect each other.
Yeah.
Not only can we protect each other, but we've got that sense of security that there's three of us.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier. It's like if you walk through, and maybe it's a wrong kind of example, but if you walk through a bunch of people and you're on your own, you feel a bit intimidated.
Yeah,
or
you
can be.
Yeah.
But if there's a couple of you don't feel as intimidated.
You feel
because,
all right, don't you?
You feel, you've got your
I mean, I feel like now, sometimes I think, imagine what it would be like if I had to spend the night here in the dark on my own. Could I do it? And I'll be honest, I don't think I could. I think I would be not in a very good state the next morning because I think if I was down here and there was no lights on, I would see. I mean, even now I stood here talking to you, and as I look to that where that rifle range is over there, that door, I keep seeing something like it's popping out and going back in at the top, and it's not. It could just. I've got it's very dark. My eyes are trying to focus, but that's the kind of thing where you become a little bit more creeped. You know what I mean?
I mean, and Marie knows, I've slept here 3 or 4 times on my own.
Yeah.
Never in the cellar.
No.
You wouldn't even.
It does feel dusty and damp here, though.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, I've slept.
There's that to consider.
I've slept in the dormitories where the beds are. I've slept in the main hall. I mean, I was here one night and there was a ghost hunt here, and I was just too tired to go home, so I got on the bench up in the loft. In the loft, I was going to say then, in the main hall, and I just went to sleep, and somebody said to me, how could you sleep like that?
Yeah.
But I got to that time so tired. Somebody said to me, did you feel anything? I said, well, I was fast asleep. But if I hadn't been tired, would I have slept that night?
Exactly.
No,
that's it.
I've slept on the balcony up here.
But you wouldn't. So you definitely wouldn't sleep in that end room down there then.
No.
I think
I don't even. Do you know what? I was offered by someone £100 to stay in that room.
Oh, we know.
And I refused to do it. And that was like, they were well-known people who turned around to me and said, "We'll give you £100 to go in there, Jamie, if you stay in there for, half an hour or so on your own." No chance. No one.
No one.
No chance. And there's a lot of people out there who are listening to this who have been on paranormal investigations and understand where I'm coming from.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I think there's certain things where you just think, I'm not going to do it, isn't there? Shall we try going up into the drill hole for a little bit and see if we can get anything up there? Because we've been down here for probably about an hour and a half now, haven't we, overall? And see if we can get anything in there. So we'll.
Can I just say something first of all? I've just turned around now. I've looked at your phone to see if your light's on. I've looked at you haven't got my phone. It's in there.
Well,
I've just seen a light here under the table, and it's just come out of there, but went back in again.
Well, when I just mentioned was anybody moving, because of the shadows on the floor, that was there.
Did you see the shadow move across?
Proper solid. It just grew from yous, as if I thought you might have been moving your arm up.
No, we were just stood still.
But it was at the side of you, so in between the two shadows.
Well, I've just seen. See, this is exactly what happens when we said we're going to move on. It's like everything goes, no, don't go on. But then I've just felt a really cold draft on me then as well. Let me just do one last. Let's do one last ask just before we go.
Because with that shadow where I've just seen. And that's why I wanted to know, did anybody move? Because it was between the two of you on the floor and looking.
Well, we saw a shadow. I saw a shadow before in a similar position.
And it was it was proper dark, deep shadow, and it was there for a second, like 2 seconds.
Before you came, we were doing this, for the radio, and I was telling James at the other end about the dark shadow what went over me when I came down here on my own. I thought, because it's COVID, I'm on my own. I'll do a little bit of a walkabout. And I was saying to you about when we were standing over there earlier on, and how I could see my shadow, but then a shadow went over me and then it disappeared quickly.
Yeah.
I think I told you when I got home about it, and I said it really rattled me, that did.
Okay, well let's...
I've just... I know
What is that?
I'm now starting
There it goes, there it goes, you see it? See it?
Yeah.
Now hold
That's
on
what
a
I've
moment.
said.
Hang on a
I've seen
minute,
them.
hang on a minute, that was dark, that.
That's what I said, the shadow was dark.
Yeah.
What I seen between you. It wasn't just a normal shadow.
No, I've seen that. We all seen that.
That moved, that was quick, wasn't it?
It was very quick.
Did you see it?
But that's what I was saying between you two.
But it wasn't there, it was here, it went across there.
I've seen it.
But the other one was there and it looked like somebody had actually shifted up their arm, and that's what I said, was anybody moving, even though...
The person who's moving in here now, are you trying to get our attention because we've been talking? We do apologise. We didn't know you were here until you gave us that kind of notice that you are here. Can you do something else to show us there?
Mm-hmm.
There it goes. See it?
Yeah.
See it?
Now, for those who are listening, it sounds like we're being erratic here, but
I'm very calm. There's nothing. Yeah.
We are here, and we're all seeing the same thing, like a dark shadow, and it's moving
around.
And it's moving quickly, and it's not small dark shadow. It does seem quite a few inches wide. Round.
It's not even like last time we thought it was a spider. And I've just looked at the lights,
is wide.
And that shadow there is a lot bigger than.
It was massive, wasn't it? Let's keep asking. If that was you, all we're going to ask is one more time. If you was showing yourself to us then coming across, can you do it while I'm showing yourself to us coming across? if you could just come near to us again, we saw you on the floor, that was amazing, but we'd love to just see you one more time, just before we go upstairs.
Let me just check this. Jamie, are you moving again?
I'm staying dead still.
Right, that's there. It's exactly there now again. Here.
Is it?
Here, again. So can one of you turn round, because it honestly...
Yeah. Right, Jamie, you look that way, and me and Maria look this way.
We'll go and I'm in between the two of you, so I can see both sides of you. But that's twice now, and it was... I really thought, but I can see Jamie, because the green lights that's on. And I know he didn't move his arm, but I just wanted clarification that,
Right. Go on. I'll tell you what, you ask Marie, because you've seen it more than us, and we've seen it once.
Right, well, I've seen it twice, similar place here. And then once that we all seen there.
Yeah.
So, come on, thank you very much. We did ask you to show us yourself again. I seen you because I was turning this way where James and Jamie were actually looking the other way. So please, can you do that again? We've got eyes both sides now. So can you move again, please? Move your shadow again. Move around, and then we can see you again, please.
Something like going across there.
There's something on this
See
side.
it? Here?
Can you move quickly for us? Because I know you've moved quite quickly on a lot of the occasion when we've just seen you now. Very quick. And it's not a small shadow either, is it?
There it goes. Here. You see, it's like something's moving around here lower down. See it?
Yeah,
It's there.
It's
almost like... Do you want me to say what it's like? It's like there's some kind of mass. My, did you see that?
Did you see that going
Yeah. Did you see it?
Did you
There's
see
something moving. It was here and it went like that. Yeah.
I saw exactly the same.
This is fantastic. Thank you. We're so happy to speak to you. Can you come near to us again, because we can see you now?
We actually can see you. Is there anything else that you can do to show us? Are you able to make noise? Because we have seen your shadows now moving. And thank you so much for showing us that. It must have took a lot of energy.
Can you bang your feet or can you open one of the doors, rattle the door? We're so grateful for you for doing this.
Well, that went off into a big shadow,
And
straight
it went
up into like an
the air.
orb.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Sort
Yeah.
of thing.
It was down here. See, there was something there then.
Yeah.
It was down here, then it went into like an orb, didn't it? Yeah, and like went up.
Up onto an orb.
See, this is what I love about this, is when you know, like you think nothing's going to happen and then suddenly you get...
Yeah, I'm seeing nothing at all, yeah.
I did see that big one when we was all there, but that's honest.
It's like here, isn't it, where it seems to be?
I could draw it for you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It was just,
Can I just say, we've been now in the middle of the cell and now the main hall section of it for a while, and you know, if that was anything logical or anything, you know, like a shadow of a spider or something like that, we'd have been seeing it quite often.
Well,
but it's only when we started talking and we started to suggest that we were going to go upstairs, that all of a sudden, bang, bang, these shadows.
Well, we are going to go upstairs in a minute, so if it wants us to stay here... No, they're massive as well.
They're quite...
So, the interesting thing is,
3
though...
foot in length.
And this is an interesting point, isn't it? How many times when we've been in that middle room and we've got them doors,
and we've
said something's going across the door. Loads of people say it, and we've never spent time out here.
No, and we keep putting it down. Oh, it must be our eyes. Yeah. It must be our eyes. But after seeing that, and then quite a few here, because it's not a small shadow.
No, that was
it's
massive.
About 2 or 3 foot shadow.
Yeah.
And can I say, when Nick Goff was here, when they were doing the paranormal,
they
lockdown,
got the light panel, didn't they?
He was in the middle room,
yeah.
And he had the light panel, and the light panel lit up.
Yeah,
but also, when he was in there again, if anybody gets to watch it, you'll see him say a shadow has just gone. He looked out the room and he went, something has just gone past that room so fast.
We could do with one of them light up mats in this area, actually.
I wonder if, I'm just thinking, guys, if we, and I know we was going to go upstairs, but I think actually while we're getting this down here, we should probably stay a little bit longer down here.
Definitely.
Shall we move down this way a little bit? Then we've got a better view of this area. Yeah, come on, Jem, you'll be all right. I'm just thinking if we get to here...
So we can see
also,
both sides.
when the group's been here, you know, our group, James,
Yeah.
We've actually been here, and we've actually seen shadows, and we've thought to ourselves,
well, right, if we stand here,
right. I did tell you about that one where there's 10 of us, 10, 12 of us.
Jamie, come here a minute.
Full beam of deep
right, you stand. If you get there next to me, right now,
I've got
Marie,
my back against the door.
We've got a clear. Oh, that's the thing.
I don't know.
We've got a clear view. You all right?
Yeah, there was like a red light flicker going up in the air then.
Was there?
I'm
right,
actually
okay.
in the room where Jamie doesn't like going into, and I'm stood at the side of that.
Can I just say though, be careful.
Yeah, just don't go in the room, and if it does it again, don't give it. Oh, I've just seen something go across down there. I swear to God, I've just look at the end. See it lit up?
Yeah.
Or is it me? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Can you see that? What is that? It looks like there's somebody peeping round.
Is it not the light off the fire?
It might be. It might just be my eyes, folks. It's a bit creepy. Right, Marie, we've got a complete clear. If you stay, are you all right there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
We've got a complete clear run here now. Right, we can see all that corridor, even though it's dark. We can just got a little bit of very faint light. Let's ask now if it's here, if it can show its shadow again. Do you want to ask? Because it seems to be responding to you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If there's anybody here, I'm stood outside this room that Jamie doesn't like going in and where the recorder is. So if there's anybody there, but in this main entrance here, that's the main entrance to all the doors down here. This is where we're seeing all the shadows. So if you can show us again, I really do appreciate that you did when we asked you. Can you give us any more evidence? Can you show us any lights? The shadows were amazing. We could see you. Are we able to hear you as well? I can hear your belly then. I know we always ask you to knock or something because we don't know what else, in what other way you can communicate with us. But if you can knock or move something or something so we know which area you're in.
Can you walk towards us if you're at the other end? Come towards us so we can see. You've done some amazing things for us. We could all see your we could all see the big shadowy shape
Now we all can see you. We can see everything that's going on. We've got a good view from where we stood. So please, can you move around again? We'd really, really appreciate it.
Well, that was a really good night there at Mill Street Barracks, wasn't it?
It was fantastic. And I tell you something, that shadow was one of the strangest things I've seen. It was so weird. And we've done loads of nights there, and that was just...
It was mind-blowing, really, because, you know, I seen it at first and pointed it out, but then it shot along the floor, and then you and Marie seen it.
And it just went up. It was like a mass of something, and it went into like a funnel and went up through the roof in like a light. It was it was really weird, really, really weird. I honestly cannot think what that. I've just never seen anything quite like it before.
Well, as you know yourself, Marie's very, very straight-minded. She thinks things logically and everything else.
Absolutely.
We all do, but she's like.
But she's really like, absolutely, yeah.
And you know, it blew her mind as well. She still talks about it now, but it was one of those moments, you know, that you'll always remember at Mill Street.
Oh, absolutely.
You've got to remember also, we were the first couple to go in there and actually do a little investigation off the cuff
after the lockdown as well, which was months.
Yeah, so it's unbelievable. Well. Time's caught us up.
It has indeed, hasn't it? I can't believe it's been near enough 2 hours already. So obviously we're going to be back next week.
We certainly are. And we've got a special guest, which we mentioned earlier on today.
We've got
Shell Louise. I think it's called Axiom Paranormal. Lovely people.
Yeah, and you can check Axiom Paranormal out on Facebook. They've got their own Facebook page. They do lots of live investigations. All around. Now, Shell is a really great... We've known Shell for quite a number of years. She's a great person. She is a demonologist. She's a medium. She's everything, really, isn't she? You know, she's like a fountain of knowledge for anything to do with the ghosts, ghostly world. So we're really looking forward to having Shell on next week.
Yeah. And she did say, I spoke to her on the phone, and she's going to be actually a regular. Which is going to be fantastic.
Yeah. And she's a good laugh as well, isn't
she? Yeah, she's down to earth, and you know, if you've got any questions you want to throw across to her as well, she'd be quite happy to answer them. But she's going to be a regular anyway, so just send them across on the email address I gave earlier on, which is wrong. It's info.accessparanormal.
You can't do it. It's all right. So it's info.accessparanormal@gmail.com. It's been lovely speaking to you today, folks. We hope you enjoyed our first show.
Yeah, and thank you very much for listening, and we'll be back again next week at between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m.
Take care.